Hello everybody, Eagle Firefly Gaming here, and I hope you are all doing good. Well, welcome to the Guristas part of the event for the Capsuleer Day sites, and today we're going to look at the Tengu and how you can survive against contests and how you can run them as quick as possible. I shall see you in a mo. Hello everybody and welcome back to this next video. Alright, so this is the Tengu video for running the Guristas sites and the new SOCT sites. So as a quick overview for this video, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to have a quick overview of the new event and the various things that you can do for the Capsuleer Day event. There is a little bit of an apology I would like to make. If I have come across you in these sites and I have won the contest, no hard feelings, that's the part of Eve. Just be kind, but we're going to show you how you're going to get better at doing these sites. Alright, so the new event, basically, I'll just get the camera in the right position here. We've got to get a good look at this Emperor skin. There we go. Right, so this is the Tengu. So the first thing we're going to do, we'll just park there. That'll do. Perfect. Down a bit. So we're using the Space Mouse, and I'm going to do a video on that soon, on how we use the Space Mouse and we can get these cool smooth shots that we see when we do these videos, and you will have seen the various cinematic videos about, and that's how we do it using the Space Mouse. So we're going to show you how to do that as well. Okay, so the new Capsuleer Day event. First of all, happy birthday to Eve. Happy 20th anniversary. I've been playing the game for 13 years, which is a long time. And I'm still learning. So this is all a very good thing for the game, and hopefully we get into another 10 or 20 years. So we've got a few things going on. We've got the factional campaigns, the Shipcaster Shadow War, so I'm going to do a video on that soon. A bit of a roundup. So I know I have been a little bit absent just recently, and that's due to running this Shipcaster Shadow War event. So we're going to do an overview on that and the earnings and all various bits and bobs and the kind of experience that we've had doing this site. So to get to the new encounters section, is in, if we go in encounters, Capsuleer Day, or you can hit the flag in the bottom left corner down here for events. When you first presented with this, you will be asked to choose two sides. You've got the SOCT sites and you've got the Guristas sites. Now, there's a couple of things that you need to bear in mind when you choose these sites, okay? I have found that the SOCT sites, you can run both, so there's no, you're not locked into what you choose, but I have found that the loot is more lucrative in the SOCT sites than they are in the Guristas sites. Now, for this particular Tengu build, it doesn't matter which site type that you do, it can tank both very easily, almost with its eyes closed, and yeah. However, the Guristas sites, what you've got is you've got a kinetic weakness, so it's in the Tengu's strength, and you've also got kinetic heat and thermal damage coming in. The SOCT sites are more EM based, and so there is some various rewards for these various things that you do. Now, actually, the difference in the rewards, so for here we've got the Apothis skin, we've got the Synesis skin, Praxis skin, Gnosis skin, so that they're all standard, but then we move on to Dramiel, Worm, and then Gila. So I'm not sure what is in the SOCT rewards. I haven't looked at the chain, so maybe you can let me know if those skins are different. So that's pretty much it, and then you basically get a reward in 3 parts. So you can complete each step of the reward in each chain. So you have a 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3. First one is enter the site, then destroy 10 ships, then destroy the battleship at the end. Providing that you're not contested, the total damage on each NPC matters in this. So whoever gets the total damage and gets the wreck gets the count towards a reward as well. So I have actually had, as long as I've started the damage on the battleship at the same time, I have had 100% success rate in this ship. There is not one player at the moment in a contest that has beat me in this ship. Now, a little caveat here. Now, I'm not going to show you all my tricks, because if I show you all of my tricks, you all are going to come after me and start to beat me down. So, we're not going to do that. However, I am going to show you how to get 95% the way there. The rest of the 5% I will leave to you to figure out, and it's very easy to figure out, okay? But I set you a little bit of a challenge there, and it does cost a little bit of ISK. So, also, this is not for a alpha player. We are going to do a guide for an alpha player, but bear in mind, if you are an alpha player and you come up against a T3 or any kind of command ship, you're going to get wrecked, unfortunately. That's just unfortunately how EVE is. So yeah, but there is an alpha build that you can make for these sites that can run these sites absolutely fine, and we'll have a look at those a little bit later on. Okay, so the Tengu. So there's some conflicting opinions about the Tengu. There's two different types of builds. I don't run the latter build anymore. I used to. I think it's slightly more expensive to run the latter build. So just check out this gorgeous lighting. So I'll copy the fit in the description below, so you can use it and put it into PYFA or whatever you need to do. Okay, so we'll open the fitting window, and I'm just going to talk you through the various sections, because that's the Emperor Bear skin, because there's probably going to be some discussions about min-maxing here, but please bear in mind that I haven't lost a contest, so yeah, unless you can bring something to the table that's going to make this better, then yeah. Okay, so this is the large shield booster fit. Now this is not my baby, this is my other baby, if you like. I got two. So this is the min version of the max, if that makes sense. So this is the 95% version, and then we have another version which is about 350 DPS cold more. Okay, believe it or not, but it is. I won't tell you how to get there, but I'll give you some clues. Alright, so basically what we have here, we have Caldari Navy heavy assault missile launchers. You don't need these. You can use the Tech 2 variation. You don't need to have the faction variation. It actually doesn't make that much difference. However, what it does do, there's something very important to look at here. Okay, so when the DPS is calculated, I don't know if you can see my cursor, you probably can't, so it's going to be a little bit weird. So we'll just go through the fit. So we've got the Covert Ops fit. Now, if you know me of old, you'll know the reasons why that I run the Covert Ops fit, okay? You can literally squeeze an extra 40 DPS out of this if you really want to. Now, the disadvantage that I have is that I have negative trig standings, so if I roam around in an expensive ship and I come into a gate camp without a cloak, I've had it, I'm toast. So this is the reason why I run this build. Now, the only difference is, if you look down here, we go to the defensive subsystems, which is the covert reconfiguration system, which I do have the other version in here, because the Tengu has a subsystem bay, and the other version is the amplification node. Now, what the amplification node gives you, it gives you the same amount of mid slots, I think, and gives you an extra low slot, but it means that you can't fit the cloak. But what it also gives you is about a 2.5% boost to your shield boosting ratio, and you can also fit you can do different versions of this. So in the main, what we're going to be looking at here is we've got the LSB, the Afterburner. It's a tech meta version. I think it's meta 2 or something like that. The reason for that is that I have an Abyssal ballistic control system down here, which has a good, not brilliant, but it has, I don't know if it's going to show me, but can I get in this way? Tributes, yeah. So here it has a very slight rate of fire missile damage bonus, only very slight, but I use it anyway because it gives me an extra 20 DPS on this ship. My other ship has 3 Abyssals on the bottom, okay, just as an example. And then we've got the Thukker large cap battery. It keeps us cap stable. It also keeps us cap stable in an event where we're going to get heavy neutralized, which is what these sites are. Then we've got the shield hardener, a pith B type shield boost amplifier, and a missile guidance computer. The different variation of this is operating a twin medium shield booster. So just going to have a look at something here. Now, I'm going to show you, let's go for the pith B type. And I'll show you the difference that you get. Okay, so the pith B type. Okay, so this is quite expensive. This is going to get quite expensive for you if you run this way. So basically what we have to look at the detail here when we're min-maxing. So we get 194 HP shield bonus when we activate it. This is raw, this is without skills, this is without anything else. We're just looking at the raw data. And then also the activation cost is 60 gigajoules. So you're going to get about 400 HP to every 120 gigajoules of activation, and it takes 3 seconds. As a comparison, what we're going to do here is we look at the large, okay? So we get a lower HP bonus. So we're down by about, I would say here on raw 80. And we use a little bit more cap and our cycle time. So on the whole here, you would say, nah, not doing that. What's the point? So, but instead of using the twin LSB, we add in a pith B type shield boost amplifier, and it gives us a 41.25 hit point bonus. Okay, so we use a little bit more cap, but we know that we're cap stable anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So what we're going to do is, without skills, we're going to take the 317. Let's just get a calculator. You probably can't see the calculator on the front. Let's use the Eve one. Does it still have a calculator? It does. So here's how we're going to do it. So we're going to, let's say 320. Okay. And then we're going to times that by 42%. No, we're not. Is that going to do it? Do we do that? So we're going to do 320 times, but it won't let us do this. Percent. No. Okay, let's do it a different way. Kill that. So we're going to do 320 divided by 100 equals, and then we're going to times that by 42. Okay, so that gives us a raw of 134.4. Okay, and then we had here 317, and then we're going to add 317 to this. 17 gives us a raw of 451.4. Okay, so then in your head, what you can do then, if you want to have a look, is then we'll go back to the pith B type, and then we'll look at that, and then we'll go 194 times 2. Let's say it's what? 300, 6, 12, 388, I think, per cycle. Okay. 451.4. So when you're looking at min-maxing things, you have to look at it on the basis of, yeah, it looks good, I've got 2 blue shiny modules on it, but you got to look at the raw data. So each cycle, you've then got to factor in 0.1 of a second, which is about 20 raw damage, but you still got more here. So you're squeezing an extra 70 to 80 hit points per cycle. Now that's a lot when you're talking about a min-max. For this particular event, it doesn't really matter all that much because you're going to tank this really easily anyway. But I just wanted to show you, and it kind of puts the argument to bed about the medium shield booster and the large shield booster. Okay, overall, the large shield booster has more active rep. Unless you can do 2 medium shield boosters, add in an amplifier, and then you've got 3 slots when you only need 2. But the beauty of it is you can add in a missile guidance computer, which also means that you can have an application module as well. Okay, so that's a bit of a long explanation about that. The Abyssal ballistic control system speaks for itself, and then 2 ballistic control systems. If you want to go bigger with this, you would put Caldari Navy ones in the bottom, and then you would just start factioning these and Abyssal rolling these out. Okay. You don't need, for the main build, the ancillary current router. You would fit in maybe a shield resistance module there. You only need it because of my bad rolls here, my bad Abyssal roll, and a few bits and bobs. Okay, so that's it in the general, and it does win every site. We've got one here which is actually still active. There's a Harbinger gone in here, so we're going to go in and have a look if the battleship is still there, so we can prove it out live. Now, a Harbinger is not even going to come close. It looks like it's finished, actually, unless he's already finished the site, which it looks like it has. So, yeah. So that's the Tengu. I'm going to run a complete site. Oh, no, here we are. So we're lucky. Here we go. So we're going to approach, throw on the missile range script, lock it up. We don't even need to overheat in this because it's a Harbinger. Now, a Harbinger probably has about 600 to 700 DPS maxed out. So you already know straight away that you should be okay here. And as you can see, it tanks absolutely fine. Now, this is an expensive fit. Okay, so I'm just going to go here. So this works out about 1.7 billion plus the Abyssal roll. So this one's probably about 2.2. Now, trust me, this is not expensive, okay? This can go way more expensive than what it is. You can also get rid of the application module if you really want to. And you can put a tackle module on there because in case, for example, this Harbinger decides to go rogue, and then you would lock it up, and then you would scram it, and you know you can out DPS this Harbinger if you just kite by about 15 kilometers, then you'll be all good. So that's it. I'm going to run next in the next phase of the video a guide on how to run the site. There is a prioritization thing that you've got to do to make this quicker, and you can get through them a lot faster. But in short, if you run out of time to watch the video, you go for the Griffins first, and then you work your way down into the Cinnabal and then through. Actually, for this particular build, you don't really need to prioritize as long as you're the first one to hit the battleship in the event of a fight. Ship lists of what this can take on is pretty much everything. The only one that I have, and bear in mind my other one does another 300 DPS, so the only people I'm really afraid of is probably a Nighthawk or gankers, effectively, or somebody that's really boosted up to the eyeballs, that's running Pyro 4. That's going to be a bit of a problem. But for something that's going to hit this is going to be pushing 1400 north DPS with good application. So one thing I also want to show you when you talk about DPS, this is the last thing I'm going to show. So if we look at the top here, you can't see my mouse floating around, but I'll highlight it anyway. You can see these raw DPS figures. One thing that you're interested in when you're building a ship for these sites is your Alpha Strike and your DPS without reload time. Okay, so you say, well, why with reload time? Well, with reload time, your DPS, overall DPS, is 960 because you're taking into account your lost DPS time in a cycle. Okay, you need about 35 cycles or 35 missile 35 missile activations to take the NPC down. Okay. Now, with the Caldari Navy version, you have 75 missile banks, so you have a lot more before a reload. So you need to be looking at your alpha DPS against your raw DPS without reload time, because you know that you can kill the NPC before it's dead. If you can kill the NPC before you have to reload. So that's one thing that you need to look at. So effectively what you're going to look at here, you need to be getting as close to 1300 DPS as you can. Now, if you can drop me an answer in the comments of how you can cheaply do that, there is two routes. There's an expensive route and there's a cheap route. And the cheap route, it will surprise you more than you think. So go away, have a think about how that can do that, and see if you can drop the answer in the comments below. I'm going to run a complication. I'm going to run a compilation next of all the contest sites that I've done recently. I think there's 10, 15, but I've done 40 plus of these and not lost one. So I'll run a compilation for you with some music in the background like we always do. So thank you everybody for your support. If you've got some tips, advice, you think you can make this better, let me know. You can squeeze an extra 40 DPS out of this with the extra low slot. You have to ask yourself, risk versus reward. Do you need it or don't you need it? If you're already winning sites, you don't need to max any more than you already got unless you want to run them faster. Alright, so I've been Eagle Firefly. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it's given you a little bit of an insight on how to make better use of your ship for these sites. Take it away and modify your ship to how it fits and works for you. Okay, I've been running this ship for many years, and ever since I've had the large shield booster version of this, I don't use anything else for these kind of things. However, there may be another answer out there. So if there's another answer out there, let me know. I will gladly try it. I will also do a video on it if you can get me something that does better than this, because I'm always looking at improving. I don't know everything in this game. Alright, so thank you for watching the video. Thank you for your support. I know I have been a bit quiet recently, and we're looking at stepping up the content now. I have pulled away from the Shipcaster event, but we'll do another video on that in due course. So I shall speak to you soon. Bye bye.
I just need a reason. I just need to know what's on your mind. Tell me what you're needing. You can call my name, I'll be